Hello everyone and welcome to round 9 of Grand Prix Atlanta. It's the last round of the day. It is Tom Martell at Tom Martell, that's his Twitter, and Alex Majlaton at Alex Majlaton. I can tell you that's Majlaton, L-A-T-O-N, not Alton. Majlaton. It's J-L. So don't go tweeting to Alex Majlaton. I don't know who that is.
I believe your Twitter name should be your real name.
Yeah. I wanted to make sure that there was some magic clue in mind, so at MTG Rich seems fine.
So you think like you're the only rich for MTG? Is that what you're telling me?
No, but I think people understand that it's about Magic the Gathering, which is a good start. Doesn't really matter who it's MTG. I could call myself MTG Dave. I think the functional bit is that it's about Magic.
Well, that would be confusing.
Like that's worried me before. Alright. So we'll get that name changed, Alex Majlaton, M-A-J-L-A-T-O-N. And we'll get to the action with both these players at 19 points. So the likelihood is, the way the numbers seem to stack up, 19 may well make it in. But what is certain is that the winner will, and the loser
19, 6,
have
3,
to
and
look.
1. No.
6, 2, and 1.
6, 2, and 1.
Yeah.
Right. Right. Only 9 rounds today.
That's right. Just the 9.
Just the 9.
Yeah.
You know, we were talking. I was a longtime Atlanta resident and early day name player Rudy Edwards, who currently lives in Thailand, I believe, stopped by to visit.
Perhaps he tested with the national champion Matt Moore.
Hey.
Our Thai national champion for the World Magic Cup, Mr. Matthew Moore.
Really? Rudy stopped, and we were talking about some of the old days because Rudy and Stephen O'Mahony Schwartz at GP Zurich, 1997, put on an exhibition of friendly trash talking that should be in an encyclopedia someplace.
Okay.
Looks like Martell is going to 6. Stopped by and he's like, "What do you think, Rudy? Back in the day, we were happy to get 300 players to a GP, and here we kind of shrugged at 900. We're like, oh, 900, we can do that."
Unless I'm imagining things, this is actually Martell to 5 because it looks to me like Alex has 6. Yeah, pretty sure Alex has got 6 cards in hand. So this is a poor start for Martell in the last round of the day.
We talked earlier. The Reanimator deck can come back from going to 6. So it's not the ideal situation, but it's certainly something that it has a little less trouble operating on.
Yeah. But Tom starting at 5 is not the value with his collection of Jaces and Lingering Souls, Stoneforge Mystics, Snapcaster Mages.
He is indeed on 5.
Yeah. Oh look, it's a Terminus. Just what you want in an opening hand of 5.
Well, he's got a Brainstorm in his hand.
Yeah. Yeah. See you in about 20 minutes.
Right.
Mr. Rainforest cracks for Dual Land.
There we see Lingering Souls, the aforementioned Terminus, Brainstorm. Inquisition and Kozilek. The Brainstorm is the one that goes away. We'll get Tom well more deeply into his deck. Practice fetch. Plays the Inquisition. day has gone away for Alex.
So back comes the dual land again. And he will tap that for a bit of careful study. Such a simple card name, such a simple card. Both extremely clean and fine.
Yeah. You think it's fair to say that legacy players play with significantly greater portion of their deck than, say, in standard?
Oh, that's interesting. I've not really thought of it in that way. I suppose that's true, isn't it? In the, yeah.
I mean, there's certainly a lot of pondering and whatnot. Early Tidespout Tyrant getting reanimated from Alex spells quite a bit of trouble for Tom. I'm not sure there's too much he can actually do about it. If he doesn't have the way to ship that Terminus to the top, Alex is just going to keep him off of everything. Plus, he's just going to beat it. He's beating him down with a 6/6 Tidespout Tyrant. So every time Alex casts a spell, he gets to bounce a permanent. And he's certainly going to go to work on Tom's land base. So Tom with the Tundra. And of course, there's the Lingering Souls that we know that Tom Martell loves so much.
Yeah. Well, we kept seeing it do heavier and heavier lifting in Indianapolis. And when he says, oh yeah, it beats Grizzlebrand, which is obviously a turn of phrase based around that crazy game he recounted to us. But
another careful study, Tidespout triggering, sending one of the tokens away. Alex pitching a Grizzlebrand and an Everstorm.
Ugh. Yeah, things aren't great for Tom here.
Snapcaster Mage for Tom Martell.
Yeah, and a million miles away from his Terminus.
Yeah, without some hand library manipulation, he's not going to get to that before
5 past dead.
Yes. Well, he's got Alex on 9. And he's getting into the...
Well, he might as well, mightn't he? I mean, there's no way that's staying alive to block. Probably.
Flashback to Lingering Souls. And go.
So...
like a boss, Tom's thinking the 6.
5. Yeah, 13 down to 8.
I'm sorry, it's a 5/5. Yeah, my bad.
It's late. Actually, it isn't too bad. 8:45 here in Atlanta, which probably makes it 2:45 in Great Britain, 2:45 around much of Europe, 6:45 in the evening in Los Angeles, that part of the United States.
All right, looking at Alex's hand, I saw Force of Will as he was shuffling.
And I would like to bring Elish Norn back into play. As a result of this Tidespout Tyrant, I would like to send a land back to hand.
He pointed at the...
Yeah. Martell is going to Force of Will. Now, Alex has a force of will, but does he have force with force? Go away.
And that's another thing bounced there for Tom.
Yeah, which they haven't dealt with.
Okay. He did just now.
Yeah.
There's Elish Norn.
Yeah. Good luck, Tom. No. Only had one Terminus main deck.
Right.
So he wasn't about to rip one off the top in miraculous fashion.
Right. He was looking for a brainstorm or some such to get it to the top, but he's still dead there with the 3 from the animated Elish Norn and the 5 from the Tide Spell Tyrant.
So there's Alex Majlaton, 1 up over Tom Martell.
So on the sideboard plan, Tom has some surgical extractions. Perish, we unlikely to see. Zealous Persecutor.
Persecution.
Persecution.
Yeah.
Dark Last, Disenchant, sort of Feast and Famine, Thought Seize, Spell Pierce, Agite, another Terminus, and Gilded Drake, which is always fun.
Which, yes. Yeah,
it was good times.
I think that's the card I've most enjoyed today.
Right.
It just has that perfect mix of it's cheap, it's efficient, it's incredibly brutal for what it does, but with a kind of nudge, ha attached to it, which I think is nice. I'm quite happy for some griefer cards, if you like.
Right.
So I was rereading Enslave the other day, one of those 4 black 6 mana things that you control
right.
enchanted creature. Oh, and they take damage
right.
every turn. Why, who dreamt that up? Really? So it's not as if simply stealing their best guy is not enough.
You lose life every turn. Yeah.
Dagger.
Alex does have the transformative show and tell in his sideboard.
Yes.
Coffin Purge of his own and Iona. Not of this world. Of course, the colorless counterspell. A couple of submerges, which we'll obviously not see against Tom. Echoing Truth. Echoing Truth, we might. I mean, Echoing Truth gets rid of a lot of Lingering Souls tokens. And a Gilded Drake of his own. Wouldn't that be quite something? The steal and steal it back.
Yes. That would be pretty entertaining.
I mean, obviously, the Gilded Drake is probably for the mirror match, not for the other Gilded Drakes, but...
So for those of you who haven't actually looked at Not of This World, anytime recently or indeed ever, Not of This World is a 7 mana tribal instant, Eldrazi, not that that's particularly relevant. Counter target spell or ability that targets a permanent you control. 7's quite a lot for a counter spell.
Even colorless.
Yeah, the good news... yeah, the good news is, Not of This World costs 7 less, brackets, that means 0, close brackets, to cast if it targets a spell or ability that targets a creature you control with power 7, brackets, Grizzlebrand, close brackets, or greater. Counter target, kill a Grizzlebrand. For nothing is kind of how that ends up, shorn of all its technical wordery.
Wordery?
Yeah, wordery.
Now, that doesn't help with Gilded Drake.
No, because it's just an exchange, isn't it?
Yep. Yeah, the Gilded Drake as a spell doesn't target anything. It's Gilded Drake's triggered ability that does the targeting.
Yeah, sure. When it enters the battlefield, comma, ding.
Yes. So the tempo of the game probably a little different with Tom Martell on the play. Also, with 7 cards in his hand as opposed to 5. Now, this Reanimator deck's not Rich Hagon style of play, is it?
No. I'm quite intrigued by it. It's the kind of deck that I'd quite like to pick up and have a fiddle around with.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, I mean, in this, if it was a good deck, because I would always want to play a good deck. I wouldn't want
Sure.
to play a deck just for the sake of it. But if it was a good deck, ad nauseam tendrils every time. I'm that player for sure. Or a Mind's Desire type deck. Mind's Desire I adored when it was sort of just around, and
Because-
Dragonstorm.
Like
I
casting a lot of copies of the same spell.
I love playing games with people. I
Okay.
love trying to win at Magic.
Sure.
And I've often found that the best way to win at Magic is not to play another person in any meaningful way whatsoever.
Okay.
Which is why I would like an elf combo deck.
Sure.
For example, because is it my turn? Hi, he tapped out. Thanks. I'll see you in 20 minutes. I've won.
I'm doing stuff, right?
I like Magic that does that purely from a trying to win angle. So.
Looks like a keeper for both players. We see Caracas in Tom Martell's hand. He leads with an island. I do notice that Alex, I mean, he's playing a Reanimator. The land count is really tight already. I think he's playing 20 lands.
Right.
Oh, 30,
Yeah.
40, 50, 60,
Yep.
like 20 lands. So no room for Wasteland. So that Caracas will be pretty safe. There's a City of Traders, which he sided in.
That's his
For
show and tell. How about no, says Tom. With Spell Pierce. He does have Force of Will backup by the looks of things. Or maybe not, but it's gone.
Well, certainly, turn 2 go for it is not unreasonable out of the Reanimator deck.
Sure, absolutely. What else? It's precisely what you want.
All right, looks like Tom has just drawn a Source of Plowshares, so he's got the protection elements.
I was going to say, another thing that's actually quite nice about the turn 2 going for its show and tell is that at the end of it, you haven't got a Gristlebrand or an Elish Norn sitting randomly in a graveyard waiting to be surgically extracted.
Right.
Further down the line.
There's the Caracas.
There is no downside. Just okay, show and tell, counter it. Let's move on.
There is a Caracas of Alex's own in his hand. So effectively a Wasteland.
Uh-huh.
Of course, City of Traders is going to go away because he's played another land. And
So I'd like to carefully study once again.
Tom giving us some thought. And there's another Spell Pierce.
Dan Lanthier from Canada wanders by. I can tell you that he is safely in. He's at X and 2, 7 and 2. Well done to him, playing Canadian Threshold. Alexander Hayne is in the feature. Well, not even sure whether Alexander Hayne made it to the feature match area for round 9.
He did not. He's playing Patch Ape down at
Somewhere on.
Table
wait.
32.
Where there are lots of people watching.
Yes.
That makes sense.
So speaking of X and 2, I was out after round 5, wandering through the lobby, and I heard somebody asked another person, so what are you right now? And the guy said, X and 2. X and 2 means something different in round 5 than it does in round 9.
Yeah, it does. I must try that after 2 rounds sometime. That's so good.
X2.
Especially when it's like someone who's like clearly their first time. It's like, how are you getting on? Oh, X and 2.
Yeah.
Oh, well done, mate. Great. High five.
Okay, another City of Traders, and another show and tell in Alex's hand.
So let's have another go.
He's certainly going
Maybe.
for it.
And this time, Tom Martell,
His
who
natural
has an actual God's Honest counterspell.
Natural counterspell in his hand.
The counterspell. We haven't seen the full spoiler for M13. I'm going to come right out and say that when Jace cast Counterspell against me in Jules the Planeswalkers on iPad, for about 3 seconds I was the most excited I've ever been. And then I went, yeah, that's not M13, that's D13
Right.
for Jules. You're not going to put that in M13, are you, Aaron Forsyth? And in my head, I heard him go, "Don't be silly, Rich." So, I'm not holding my breath now for counterspell in M13.
All right, the second show and tell has been countered. So momentum, other direction.
Yeah, and after dealing with 2 cracks at it, it's at that point that you start to feel hard done by if you lose to the 3rd go.
Right.
You kind of go, seriously,
Yeah.
how many bullets have you got in the chamber this
Right.
time?
Rounds in the chamber.
Rounds? Well, 9 rounds, but clearly this is round 9. But
Stoneforge Mystic from Tom Martell. Let's see what he fetches up.
it's about a skull. That's one of those cards that worked out perfectly when people saw it the first time. They went, this thing is going to be an absolute beating. It will be a beating in sealed. It will be a beating in drum.
Yeah.
It will be absurd in standard.
Yeah.
It will be fabulous in older formats.
Right.
And they were all right.
So we see, I think that's Iona in Alex's hand there.
The Shield of Ameria.
There's still a lot of play in this game. I don't think those 2 counter spells have set him necessarily off of his game. All right. So there's the Thoughtseize.
Snapcaster Mage, Batterskull, Swords to Plowshares. What do you do, Alex? Has a game to give, 1 up in this last round.
Snapcaster seems a good choice. Tom doesn't have all his mana for Batterskull shenanigans. Well, I guess he does because he's got Stoneforge Mystic.
As Not of This World in Alex's hand, the card we talked about just a few minutes ago. Let's go. So, the usual City of Traitors trick, as it were. And Martell has a quick look at Graveyard. Now has a quick look at hand, and then says, sure, you get a Grizzlebrand, I get a Snapcaster Mage.
I mean, Alex knows he has the Swords to Plowshares.
Yeah.
And the question is he going to draw 7 or is he going to draw 14?
He's surely not going to draw 14. I mean, that's... That has to be crazy. 40. Here's an idea. How about we use this comedy counterspell out of the sideboard? To which
Comedy?
Tom Martell says, Spell Pierce. To which Majlaton says,
Still had,
I'll pay it.
he has still had mana
Because he
floating.
had 1 mana from City of Traitors.
So All right, there's a lot of animated gesturing going on.
Yes, there's a lot of finger flicking.
Yeah, Alex still had 1 mana floating from City Trees. He tapped City Traders, played the Swamp, paid black and 1 for Exhume, so he still has 1 from City Traders.
Yeah.
And
I don't think it is clear to Tom that there is. I mean, presumably it is clear now from the conversation that there is an extra mana available, and now are they attempting to go back? When you can't hear,
yeah,
that's pretty interesting.
Spell Pierce resolve targeting the out of the swirl. This is very strong. I'm going to activate it.
Let's go back to the top. There we are, and let's. So what is that? What is that Swords to Plowshares doing sitting on the table right now? Is that in Tom's graveyard again, and it has been countered?
You have 9 cards. Yeah.
I presume it has, or are we just wait? Or is it still on the stack waiting to occur? It's on the stack, that Swords to Plowshares. I'm not quite sure why. So yeah, so in the argument goes that they were out of the phase and that mana from City of Traitors wasn't there anymore, I suppose. We're not entirely sure. We're hearing sort of third hand on this. So
Sure. All right. So now we're going to go to.
And now, as of drawing another 1,000,000 cards, I'm going to Nod of this World again. This does cost naught.
Yeah, we're gonna have to get a full report from what was happening in the pit over there. So Alex did indeed end up drawing 4.
Yeah.
I think there's no.
Two fatties.
Here's,
One
There,
fatty.
there seems to be some, but how does
some miscommunication. Owen Turtonwild walking by. So you're how many? 8-1. It's all right, I suppose. Owen Turtonwild 8-1, boys and girls.
so there's another Source Plowshares from Tom Martell.
And
Go to 11. Attacking for 6.
Alex back up to 11.
Go to 4. I go to 23.
also X1 is Ben Friedman. They had a pretty difficult matchup in the final round.
So
He beat Drew Levin in the final round. Good effort. So here's my brainstorm going away. Alex at 4, Tom at 23.
yeah, look, even though he drew 14, looking a little grim for Alex right here.
Mm-hmm.
Although there's another show and tell in his hand. Doesn't have a grizzled Wren in the yard, I don't think. But he does have the Iona in his hand. Show and tell.
You played on. Yeah. I'm going to call white.
Iona.
Go.
What do you think he's named there, Rich? White? You get from Crackstaff, Rusty Kubis, we get White was the choice. There we see Tom
No Swords to Plowshares for you.
pondering.
It's been another adventurous round.
Yeah.
Sounds like Matt Costa won, but not in a relevant match. He thinks he's dead.
Tom doing some serious thought over the ponder. Three show and tells down, which is all that Alex has. Tom might not know that there's not 4.
Yeah, I mean, because it's a sideboard, it's not that often you sideboard in 4 of a thing. There's just so much pressure on the slots.
Right. Tom significantly long in the tank. He's got a Swords of Plowshares, a Jace, and a Snapcaster Mage in his ponder. Yeah, it gets in the red zone.
Yeah.
Gains some life.
And more significantly, puts Alex to
1.
yeah, to no bonus life.
Right.
As us resource-filled life totals like to think of it.
There's no...
What do you start on? 19 bonus life.
Right.
I've used up all my 19.
There's Krakus, there's another
Here
enemy.
we go. On the action replay. I'd like Rizzle round, please. How many cards? Many.
You're at 1.
There's the Snapcaster Mage. Bringing back the Spell Pierce? Flashing back the Spell Pierce?
Yeah. Not bad for all. You have no mana flooding. Nope.
Or the
Not walking
natural
into that
counter
one
spell.
for the 3rd time. Almost.
Natural counterspell seems the choice here, and it is. Tom Martell countering the Animate Dead.
More careful study. Someone who we talked about able to just play and win seemingly with very little practice. Brad Nelson was talking about Cordelis Vidigiris. He has won again and has not a perfect record, but 25 points. So 8 wins, no losses, 1 draw. And the score there is 1-1 now between Tom Martell and Alex Majlaton.
I'm going to go find out what happened.
Okay.
Tom Martell, Rashad Miller is going to step in and ably replace me.
He's going to replace you.
Pretty sure I'm not going to do a very good job.
Oh, you'll be fine. First time on camera?
I'm not even on camera.
Well, you're on camera, we're just not showing it.
I'm on a camera,
That's right. Yeah.
because that's what that term means. I'm in show business, or the biz, as we call it.
The biz.
The biz. Familiar?
Honestly, I nearly fell off my chair last night when I heard they'd chosen Samuel L. Jackson instead of you to host the BET Awards tonight. That was a shocker and no mistake. I got him, ladies and gentlemen. I actually nailed Rashad Miller with that one because he did
You
not.
don't even know what BET is.
I do.
What's it stand for?
It's the Berry Entertainment Award thing.
I thought it was.
Isn't it?
I thought it was Barcelona Entertainment
Is
Television.
it?
We were going to use the BET toke in Barcelona, but we forgot. Like me and media.
You missed a winner there,
Yeah,
Sheldon.
it would have been pretty sweet.
It wasn't that much. It was probably about
What?
Nothing. Are you ready to resume?
I'm ready to tell the tale.
You have a tale to tell?
Well, I had to run over there.
Why don't we-
find
why
out
don't we
what
just-
happened with that.
Why don't we just do the conveyor belt? We'll all shift up one. I'll get out for a couple of minutes, and you can tell Rashad what happened.
That just happened. For
It
those of
did.
you who
It
can't see
actually,
us.
it actually happened. And the funny story is, there's nothing funny about it.
I'll laugh though.
Okay.
Anyway.
So what happened there in that turn that we couldn't make much sense of was there were Swords to Plowshares on Grizzlebrand,
Okay.
and there was counter on the Swords to Plowshares. The
Counterspell.
all not almost nothing.
Oh, not from this world.
Not of this world. There was the not of this world targeting the Swords to Plowshares, and Tom snapcastered back a Spell Pierce. And Alex said, well, I tapped the 1 mana that I have here, plus the one still floating from City of Traders. And Tom's like, no, this is at the end step. You don't have the extra mana.
Also, it all happened during the end step.
Yes.
Makes sense.
All right, so we're going on game 3. Turn 1 Thoughtseize from Alex, looking at Tom Martell's hand of
Not an awful lot.
Snapcaster Mage, Brainstorm, Terminus for land. Without the Terminus, without the Brainstorm, a little more difficult to put the Terminus where you want it. So back at you.
Yep. And back at you turns out to be a whole load and not very much. 3 land and Iona.
Which you probably don't want to ship into the yard.
Real bad now.
Iona's slogan, the more, the merrier. Ah!
I'm going to get an injunction of some kind. Or talk to the HR department.
Do you know how many people have sat in that chair before you and tried the HR department route? He told a joke. No, he did.
What, and the HR department finds it not credible that you would tell a joke?
Pretty much.
Oh, okay.
They've met me.
Yeah. Well, there's a difference between telling a joke and being funny.
That's absolutely true. Yeah, of course that's very true.
So I can believe that you told a joke.
Thank you. Two land apiece. As down comes another fetch from Majlaton. We know he has very little action initially. He's drawn into a force of will.
Which I think is going to go away.
Yeah, not long for this world at the cost of 1 black and 2 life.
Yeah. Tom Martell going to ask the judge a question. I can't imagine what he's going to ask him. There's Alabama Judge Zach White, also a member of this nation's defense, young staff sergeant in the U.S. Air Force.
All right, okay. That must be a very difficult job to combine with judging, where you are required to commit to events a certain, a little amount ahead of time, I imagine. It's like...
I started judging in 1996. I retired from the Air Force in 2004.
You went to a couple of events in the meantime.
I went to some. Now, I will say that I did miss Worlds in Sydney because I was deployed to Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
That was Worlds 2002, so that, it was a bit of a dicey time in the world.
Talking of Saudi Arabia, when it pops up in conversation with someone, I'd imagine someone, they say, "Oh yeah, I just got back into the game. I've been in Saudi Arabia for 3 years," and of course you say, working in oil, something like that, because that's where basically, certainly if you're English, that's what everyone goes in for. I try, I'm kind of like 9 for 9 in those conversations. Oil, oh yeah, absolutely, I'm a engineer for blah blah blah. I tried it recently, no joke. Said, Saudi Arabia been there for 3 years. Oil, no, Burger King.
Thanks.
Okay.
So, Force of Will, Iona, Not of This World, and a Fetch Land from Tom's Thought Seeds. Tom's hand includes a Snapcaster. It's certainly his hand is significant in his choice. He takes the Force of Will. Alex Cratchit's the Fetch. See, Alex, 3 Underground Seas, and now just a basic island off of his Fetch.
Note from Drew Levin, lost to Owen and Ben Friedman on the day. Death is brutal, looking forward to tomorrow. Brian Kibler beat Reanimator despite a turn 2 Grizzlebrand connecting twice in game 3 before I found the Caracas. 7-2 and in day 2.
That's not our fault, right? We have 12? Yeah.
Alex cracked that Fetch. Got a basic island because that's all he has left. He doesn't have any more. The only 3 dual lands he's playing are the... Oh no, I'm sorry, he's playing 4 Underground Seas. Guess he's worried. Not really sure
Big
there.
one. Show and tell.
And we know he has the Iona. Tom knows he has the Iona. He does have 2 mana for a Spell Pierce.
They see the halls, I think I was going to get a bubble with it.
Good sporting moment there for Alex.
Can I read the Not of This World that's in your hand to save me asking for an Oracle text?
Oh,
Certainly not required.
No, but we'll just slow the game down.
Sure.
Because Tom can find out the precise word
Sure.
anytime he likes.
So, not sure what that play was all about. I mean, Alex knows that Tom has Caracas on board. Is it just to get it into the... Yeah,
So Snapcaster Mage from Tom, end of turn.
probably going to get that Brainstorm.
Yep, that's exactly what's going to happen. Lots of action went into our hand there. There's another Brainstorm, Spell Pierce, Terminus. It's interesting, he's almost at the point where he wants Terminus in hand. Just as a straight up 6 mana answer.
Right. And he's keeping it in hand.
Yeah.
17?
Mostly because he knew he was going to fetch and he didn't want to
Yeah.
shuffle it away. So, I'm still at a loss about Alex's play of the show and tell.
So it sounds like Chris Peculiar, having got to 7-1. I'm not sure this is a verb, but apparently he got belchered.
He got belchered. I think it is a verb.
It certainly needs to be. So 7-2 for Peculiar overnight.
Martell
Back again tomorrow.
gets into the red zone with Snapcaster Mage. And that looks like a Vendilion click.
That means there's an 8-1 belcher for tomorrow morning.
That's right.
Wow.
One of my local guys from Tampa, Gerardo Fedal, I think was reasonably high in the standings. And I know he's a unapologetic Belcher player. I don't see his name here though.
I do.
Oh, there it is.
Gerardo Fedon from Venezuela.
Yep. He's from Venezuela, lives in Tampa, plays Thursday Night EDH League all the time.
Patrick Chapin 6-2-1, so close. Byron King, he of the Momir Big deck from earlier, 8-1 overnight. Casual and competitive. You can have both. Alright. So, animate, reanimate, Iona, Not of This World, Martell comes in.
Well, now he has Alex low enough where reanimate's not worth anything anymore.
Yep.
Now, instead, I mean, this
Martell, I think he's gonna get
sort of very clear play to take the reanimates because to take the animate dead so the reanimate's not castable anymore. Alex gonna dig for an answer.
Careful study shows him another reanimate by the looks of things, and another careful study, I think. I will pitch these two useless reanimates.
Right. Again, perfectly unnecessary for Alex to keep his hand revealed, keep the cards that Tom knows he has revealed, but he's doing it anyway. Quite a sporting play. Still keeping the Ion in his hand. More digging for answers with a brainstorm. Tom consents. Ships the Iona back to the top. Looks pretty well in hand here for Tom Martell. Just on the backs of the guys he has in play.
Yeah, the clock is very much ticking. Some more careful studying is the plan. I think we are very close to the end. Two. And Thoughtseize and Brainstorm is the hand. And Tom Martell looking to avoid. There it is. Tom Martell takes it by 2-1. He goes to 22 points, 7-1-1. You see Gadenis Fidigiris undefeated behind him, and Junior